Everyone to stick with us versus herd. Thanks so much for joining. If it's your first time here, I'm sorry. This is going to be a pretty weird stream for you. But I definitely appreciate everyone that's been waiting. Whoa. Everyone that's been waiting, everyone that's joining now, everyone that will be joining later. Gotta fix my chair a little bit here. Chair's all messed up. Haven't streamed in a while, so gotta get my YouTube game back on. Adele, there's nothing bad. There's nothing gonna be bad. Oh, hopefully. I mean, it depends on how you take it. Yo, Kit, what's going on? Jeff, Justina, Joyce. I'm sorry. I don't know if that's how you pronounce your name. It's Joyotsna. Sorry, not Justina. Adele, welcome. If you're here right now, say what up. What's going on? Glad to see you. Market's closed today, so it's a good time. I have the chat up, so I don't have to keep looking to the side. I can just stare at the screen. Yo, Greg, nice to see you, man. Daniel, Kit, Dan, thank you. Brian, what up? Ahmed, and nice to see some familiar faces in here. Yeah, definitely. I've definitely missed streaming FC. What's up? Okay, JP, I got you. Sean, and nice to see you guys all here with the market close. I didn't know if you'd be enjoying the weather or not. Here in Chicago, it's kind of windy and cold. You know, what else is new? The other day, it went from 34 and snowing to 80 in 2 days. We had 4 inches of snow. Yo, Brian, appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Watch the stream later if you want to get the update. But yeah, let's get to it. Let's get to it. You know, where have I been is the question, and I definitely appreciate everyone that's been checking in, who've been sending me DMs, been hitting me up on Discord, Facebook, you guys, IG, all the platforms. Rewards, what's going on, Lissandro? Oh, from Skokie, nice. Billy, yeah, if you're here right now, say what up. Definitely miss you guys. I definitely missed streaming a lot. I love trading. I love streaming. I love talking about the markets. Yeah, Jeff, this is a little healthier spin drift. You know, you got to cut back somewhere. Plus, I had cherry Coke for lunch, so you know. Anyway, so you know, I definitely appreciate everyone checking in. Hi, Tom. And you know, what's been going on has nothing to do with, you know, my trading, has nothing to do with you guys. I mean, Hastings, welcome. It's gonna be if you're new here, it's gonna be a weird stream. I'm just telling you that right now. Normally, I live stream, you know, stock market news. I go over my trades. We talk about different plays. But today, you know, I've been gone for a few weeks, and what I've been doing is just trying to get my life in check here. And I have other businesses, other streams of income. Some of those started to blow up a little bit heavy, but the main reason why I've been gone so long is what I'm trying to do here is what happened with the UVH channel was I didn't really expect you guys to really like it that much. I didn't think that many people would watch the channel. I didn't think that many people would subscribe. You know, while I was gone, we reached over 6,000 subscribers. We're at 60, what are we at now? 6,300 right now. And we have over 6,000 subscribers without me streaming, which is amazing. I definitely I do not take that lightly. The fact that you guys are here watching, engaging, and you can tell with the chat here, everyone, you know, it's a very personal connection. It's a very, you know, we're the UVH fam. It's very family oriented. You know, we care about each other. We care about people's wins. We care about people's losses. You can see in the Discord, people watching out for each other. And the channel, I would say I wasn't anticipating it would grow so fast. And I was thinking I was going to have some slow momentum where we're just kind of okay, we're going to stream, we're going to do that. But, you know, really really just went from like 0 to 100 within like a couple months. And then we were just streaming pretty much nonstop every day, you know? And the thing is about the live streams, what I was thinking of over the last few months is how much of a value are the live streams? Now, that doesn't mean I'm not going to live stream. What I'm saying is an hour per day for a live stream. Now, I'm going to give you some data here. Most of the people that watch, the average, so I stream for an hour every day. The average a person watches the stream is 16 minutes. So does that mean they just come and show up? Do they just come in and look for what trades they did or what stocks we're talking about and click out and leave? Like, is it too much bloat? Is it too much? Is it just too much? Like, is an hour too much? Was the first question I had. Like, who has the time? I know a lot of people do that do watch the full hour. A lot of you guys that join in the live chat right now do watch the full hour, do enjoy it. But for I wouldn't say entertainment purposes, but in terms of your life and how much time you have, how much time do you have to watch 1 hour? And I just want to, the thing is, what I've been thinking of is I want to deliver, what I want to do is deliver the best quality and give you the best quality content with the time that you have to give me. So, I do not take it lightly that you're here right now. I do not take it lightly that you've subscribed to this channel. I do not take it lightly at all that you're going to be watching this later. Like the people that are watching this later, I do not take it lightly. Like the responsibility and what we do here in terms of talking about the stock market, helping each other out. I do not take that responsibility lightly. But at the same time, I want to provide great content and I want to make other videos that help. I get a lot of requests saying, hey, can you make a video like this? Can you make a video like that? And with the amount of content I was putting out, I didn't have a lot of time to make other content, Hastings. Yeah, we can. I'm not going to be looking at any stocks today. I'm just going to be chatting with the UVH fam right here. Kit, appreciate you. Andy, you good, honest, quality content and a great following. Jeff, thanks for the $5. Rewords, nice. I try to catch up on the stream later in the evening, but I usually only fit in 30 minutes. However, most of the stuff I'm interested in, you cover in the first 30 minutes. Yeah, so kind of how I was structuring the stream was the first half of it was like anything that I wanted to get out there, anything that I want to. Hastings, you're in the right place, but the wrong day. So typically, Hastings, we talk about the stock market, but today we are not because the stock market is closed, and well, you'll get the idea when we get through if you stick around. But the first half of the stream, I talk about my trades. I talk about the market. Easy, what's up? I talk about the market. I talk about things that I like if I identify certain things or if there's some news topic that I want to cover. And then the second half, I leave it up to you guys to discuss what you want to discuss. Like, do you want to talk, like what type of stocks you want to talk about? What type of, you have questions about margin accounts, you have questions about trading accounts, you have questions, just general questions, and that's the way that seems to have worked very well for the live stream. Honestly, I like the humor you use between man, this tag on the shirt's really bothering me. Cheers, easy, cheers. So, we live stream, but the things that I've wanted to do with this channel, because I didn't think there was going to be this much growth in the channel, but the things that I wanted to do with the channel was produce more content outside of the live stream. So I want to do more educational videos. I want to, Billy, I think it is tagless. Yeah, maybe there's no tag. It's just bothering me. I want to do the live stream, but I want to make more educational videos for people because the live stream really doesn't, I would say, doesn't help people that are brand new. So like if you're like, hey, I'm gonna go trade in the stock market today, and you have no idea, and you click on our stream and we're talking about buying calls, shorting calls, all this crazy talk. We're talking about people being negative 100K in a margin account. We're talking about just like crazy things. And if you're brand new, that's not necessarily like the right place for you. So we have to kind of structure the live stream is more for people that are actively trading, actively in the markets, and actively they know the core idea of options trading in the chart. So if I'm talking about like, hey, it's a 52-week high, some people don't know what I'm talking about like that. So if I say, hey, it's an all-time high, people honestly sometimes don't know what I'm talking about. If I say, hey, I'm going to buy a call, they don't know anything about that because they've been trading penny stocks, or they just know like, hey, I got a gift of IBM stock on my 10th birthday. You know what I mean? Lissandro, 1 hour, it's too bad. So the other thing that I want to do with you guys is create a podcast. So I want to create a podcast. I'm going to be publishing it on Apple and iTunes and Spotify. So I want to do that. And also what I want to do is I have it all mapped out. I just haven't had the time to record. And I have a whole training plan, so I have a basic training course for people that are very beginners, and then I have an advanced training course that's for more advanced people that teach people, how to do things in live streaming and all that kind of stuff. So I have an advanced training course. Everything's all mapped out. I just haven't had the time with everything that's been going on to shoot that. And I think that's going to create a lot of value for people. A lot of people have been asking for it. If there's anywhere they could learn, if there's a course they can learn at, and I failed to provide that. We have everything mapped out. We just have to record it and go through it and just polish it up. And so what I'm going to do is probably take the next few weeks off and record all of that content. And then basically it's kind of like when they're going to remodel a Starbucks, they close a Starbucks and then they reopen it. But when they reopen, they're stronger and better than ever. And that's what I'm trying to do, is create a platform that's easy to manage and also where you guys get the most benefit out of. Like, I want you to be engaged. I want you to get value out of what we do here. I don't want to just come on here. I don't want to just come on YouTube and talk about it and nobody gets any value. Easy. What's up? I actually have the spin drift today, but I will take a sip. So, I want to give value back to you guys because you should give me a lot of value. Like I said before, I don't take it lightly that you guys are here. I don't take it lightly that when you guys send me donations, and the UVH fam and the community has been like so strong. I was live streaming nonstop for August, September, October, November, like 7-8 months, like straight. I was live streaming 7-8 months straight, and to be honest with you, it got to be a lot. Not so much the streaming aspect, but I'm one person, and there's a lot of people coming at all angles, and being an introvert, it was difficult to engage with that many people, which is why I kind of pulled back to kind of recollect my thoughts and be able to push forward from a point of strength rather than pushing forward from a point of weakness. So when you're building a business or you're building a community or anything, you need to have, it's kind of like your education. You need to have, when you're learning math or you're learning Spanish, you're learning any of these things, you need a strong foundation. You need a strong foundation to build on. So if your business is built on a rocky foundation, it's going to be difficult to manage. It's going to be difficult to move on. If your knowledge of options is built on on some lies and a shaky foundation, it's going to be hard for you to profit. It's going to be hard for you to move forward in options trading. But if your understanding and your foundation is strong, you're going to be profitable quicker than the next guy, right? And same with anything in business. So in business, if you're building anything, like here we're building a community of people that gather and traders and all that, you want to have a strong foundation so that way, we can answer all the questions. Like I never want it to be a point where we get so big where I can't say, hey, Easy or hey, Billy or hey, FC. I want this to be engaged on a personal level. I don't want to have 80,000 people tuning into my stream that they don't care about me and I don't know who they are. Like I like what we have here. I like the dynamic. I like the people that are here. I just like the personal touch. And then like when I go on to Discord or I go on to Facebook, I can message you back like, okay, hey, how you doing? Oops, I accidentally just called somebody on my phone. I don't know who that was. But I want to engage with every single person, and I want to do that from a position of strength rather than a position of weakness. I want to make this a good platform so that way I enjoy it, you enjoy it, and everybody's happy. I like the streams because I like your take on the over market. It's a big positive vibe at the end of the day. Appreciate you, Daniel. You got a family and other businesses, only 24 hours in a day. Yeah. So, I'm, not to toot my own home, but I do a lot of things. Beethoven, yes, the answer is yes, I trade full time, but I also own other businesses, own other streams of income. I do not believe in just a single source of income. Because and that's another thing that I want to touch base on too, is like entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship, like trading, is just a part of my life. Entrepreneurship is also another huge aspect of my life that I want to cover. Another aspect that I want to make videos on. I know there's a lot of people here that own businesses. I know there's a lot of people here that are probably aspiring to own their own business because, entrepreneurship and trading kind of go hand in hand because you're making money, you're budgeting, you're doing all those things. And a lot of people that go into trading are looking for additional sources of income. And normally those type of personalities have some entrepreneurship qualities to them. So entrepreneurship, starting businesses, managing businesses, doing all that is also a big part of my life, and I also wanted to see if you guys would be interested in that type of content of not only trading but building multiple streams of income because like anything, like the scariest thing was during the recession. I dropped out of college way before the recession, but so I graduated high school 2004. All my friends were graduating college in 2008. Right, and this was a very memorable experience for me. So in 2008, when all my friends graduated college, they could not land a job. Nobody could land a job. They had $80,000, $100,000 in student loan debt, and they were literally working at Chili's. They were working at Jewel, which is a grocery store. If you're not familiar with it, I mean, low-end jobs that you were working in high school. You didn't have to go to college to go work at Chili's. I mean, now the economy's better and things are getting better and that's picking up. But one of the scariest things was all these people weren't getting jobs. And then to think about anybody that I knew that was like 50 and older, they got fired. They're just like, hey, we can't afford you. You're earning six figures at this company. Well, not anymore. People that I knew, they had heart attacks. It was a mess. If you were old enough to be an adult in the recession and have a job or know people, I mean, some people will probably know, hey, yeah, my dad, my mom, they got laid off and they struggled for a long time. Yeah, people lost their homes. I mean, that was the bad thing. So, but that's the thing though. If that's most people rely on a single source of income, and what I mean by that is you go to work, you show up at a job, you go home, and that's how you make your money. That's how you make your money. That's a single source of income. You're not making money. If that goes away, you do not make money. And that's one of the things that you want to, at least me. I mean, anybody, people put their risk in different places. So some people don't realize, but some people may say, hey, I'm a low risk individual, right? I stack away my coins every month. I save my money for a rainy day. Everything's good. However, they're willing to live with a single source of income, which is what I believe is the biggest risk of them all. So, let me get to some of these comments here instead of me just ranting. Me too. I trade in the morning, then I got to my steady paycheck job, and then I go to my business, which is really to my regular job. Then I drive for Lyft for the evening and sometimes I sleep. Yeah, easy. You get it. It'll be nice hearing your take on the entrepreneurship. Do you mind sharing what type of business are you into? I own a IT business. Thank God my area wasn't affected as much. I'm in agriculture. Yeah, people got to eat. Easy. Yeah, I mean the next recession, it's not about if, it's about when, right? So I mean the next recession could be next year. The next recession could be in 10 years. And that's why you kind of always have to have your parachute ready, because you don't know. Like, you don't know if you knew the market was going to crash tomorrow, wouldn't you load up as much money as you can in a bunch of puts? I mean, wouldn't you do that? Wouldn't you load up short all the money if you knew for certain market was going to crash tomorrow? But you don't. That's why that's why the people that make thousands of percent returns, that's like on Disney last week when people were making thousands of percent returns. It wasn't, I hate to say it to you, it's not because you were good at being a trader. It's because the market underestimated the move and you profited from it. I have a full-time job and I wanted to make money from this market. Harish, good man, good. Yeah, I mean the people here, if you're here, you work a full-time job and you trade. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, you're stacking coins. I mean, that's more like, when you trade, you got to think about it as like, okay, well, do I want to go work at Starbucks, or do I want after working my day job, do I want to do this or I want to do that? And you could say, well, if I made a $50 trade, that would basically cover my shift at a Starbucks for 5 hours, 6 hours, and I could do a trade in about 1 hour, maybe 20 minutes, whatever. So it's kind of like, I think that's why trading, especially options, in terms of a second source of income or second job, is people like that. There was actually a dude who predicted the 1929 crash and made 100 million. Nice. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, you can predict the crashes and you can do all that, and I mean, that guy was. The thing is, the people that predict, like they have on CNBC, this guy predicted the last crash, or this guy predicted the crash before that, whatever. He's got a good track record, right? They don't take into account how many times the dude was wrong. Like that guy in 1929, he could have been wrong and might have been like on his last niggles, and he came out to be a genius because he shorted the market at the right time, right? I hope he got his money though, because yeah, I mean the problem was with the 1929 crashes was the dollar was being used as wallpaper, and he couldn't. Liquidity was not good, and even if you had dollar bills, nobody wanted them or cared. So that was a depression, severe depression. So he could have made $100 million, but I don't know. I mean, obviously it recovered, so hopefully he held on to that cash or something. I don't know, but definitely would have been interesting to see, like, okay, if you shorted that, how would he have exited the position, and then what was it like? Because they were doing bank runs. That would have been a crazy time to live in, especially a crazy time if you were in the markets, and as they show in like history textbooks, people were jumping out of windows and jumping off of buildings and all this stuff. Like it was nuts. Definitely I hope we don't have that type of crash, because that would be devastating. But he squandered it. Yeah. I mean, so, it's like the people that win the lotto. It's not because they were really good at being right. It's just because they had a lot of occurrences. It's kind of like the stock market is, the more occurrences you have, the more opportunities you have at being at a winning trader at like get those thousand. People are like, oh, how do you get the 1,000% or 2,000%? When you get 1,000% or 2,000% trade, or even 500%, it's not because that was the plan when you put the trade on. The plan was to get out 50 to 100% and get out, right? But because the number of trades and the number of currencies you do, there's going to be a point in time where you have a trade, because if you always have a position on something, there's going to be a time of overlap where you're going to be able to take advantage of a good situation and sporadic news. You can't control the flow. You can't control the news. You can't control, like, if so-and-so is going to, like, if you have a position on and it was dirt cheap when you put it on, and then they changed their earnings date, and then the options inflated like crazy, you couldn't have predicted that. It's the number of occurrences, and that you were willing to have a good trade set up without that. All right, Ahmed, are we talking about Jason Bod? No. I haven't seen any of his ads, but I haven't really been on YouTube, so I don't know. It's when you get stagnant and comfortable when you start to downfall. Yeah, I mean, I'm sitting down next to cooling vacuum tube my ears at job while we're, the thing that I've done my whole life was always push it. I've never been satisfied with where I was at, because I spent most of my life, the first 18 years, living in with my family in a 2-bedroom apartment for the majority of my life, and then we moved. But then I was still sharing a bedroom for the next few years with my 2 brothers. So I've never, and for me, it was always a grind to get out of that, right? So it was always a grind. My parents they didn't give me any money for college. They didn't give me any money to start a business. They didn't give me money for anything. I basically started from scratch, everything, and when I was going to college to be a chef, and I realized the restaurant industry wasn't for me. If you want to work 1,000,000 hours and not get paid a lot, that's what was. I didn't go. So I started getting into building websites and technology, right? Which is where I still am. I still do a lot of IT. It's one of my streams of income. It's one of the things that I rely on as an income right now, outside of trading, right? But no one was paying for my school. No one was paying for anything, and I was paying all this money. I was working 3 jobs just to go to school, and I was thinking to myself, like, do I invest this money that I'm making from these jobs into my education, or do I take the $50,000, $60,000, $100,000 and invest in myself, invest in a business, invest in what I want to do? So, I was like 22, 21, 23 when I was just starting out business, and, things were rocky because we were in a recession. People didn't, I started a business during a recession and no one wanted to spend money. I mean, the thing was, we were selling to people, knocking on doors, making phone calls, trying to make deals. Literally, we could call the next day or show up the next day at that business, and it was closed. The business was closed. I mean, it was a crazy feeling. But like, these people would be like, "Oh yeah, I'm interested. Okay, yeah, call me next week." Call next week. Line was disconnected. Show up at the shop, or wherever they were. It was all boarded up. People went out of business, and it wasn't just one place. It was multiple places. I mean, it was hard. It was hard for many years. I made little to zero money, and I've survived. And when I moved out of my parents' house, basically wasn't making any money, but I said, I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to go branch out, do what I need to do. I don't know how I did it, but the guy that gave me the apartment, it cost me $950 a month. I only had about $3,000 in my bank account at the time, with my income kind of shady. My income was not coming in the way I wanted to come in, right? My income was not flowing the way that I wanted to go. And the guy is like, the guy that gave me the apartment, he didn't go through like a background check or anything like that. To verify my income, he basically took an Excel spreadsheet that I made and said, okay, yeah, you got the apartment. But because that guy gave me the opportunity to live there, I wasn't going to let him down by not paying my rent. So I did everything that I could to make sure that I paid my rent, even though I knew that I was not qualified to get the place. I did everything that I could to push, to get business, to land accounts, to do what I need to do, to pay the rent, pay the bills, do all that. So, in terms of entrepreneurship, I mean, that's where I spent, most of my years was at the bottom. It's kind of like Big Sean said, been at the bottom so long, I've left a stain at the bottom. But now we're starting to get traction in business, and things are going well. I can't complain about a single thing from where I've been to where I am now. I cannot complain. I will never, considering if I look back 5 years ago, 10 years ago, or where I was, and if I complain about where I am today, the guy that was me 10 years ago would slap me in the face and knock my teeth out. Like, he'd be like, you are so fortunate, you're so blessed that you shouldn't, if you're complaining right now, you're the dumbest person I know, because where you came from, it wasn't good. It wasn't good. So, in terms of where I want to go, with UVH, I'm willing to put in the work. I'm willing to put in the time to make this place a better place. I know what it takes to get there. So I understand that, for the next few weeks or so, it may not be great for me to not be live streaming every day, not be doing this every day, but just know that on the back end, I'm working very, 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 very hard. On UVH, I'm working hard on other things, also managing my family, spending time with them, spending quality time with, everybody. So hopefully, Ice Cooler, what's up? If you want a dude, you got it wrong. Largest headline, made a wrong prediction. I lost a ton of money, but made it all back, and now is rich. Finra, respect for Nick, great guy. Appreciate all the content you've always put out there. Glad to see you back on the stream. Easy, you are an inspirational and motivational person to me. Like I mentioned in the past. Yeah, appreciate you guys. Harish, did you lose the first few years? I mean, yeah, everybody, like, the thing is about the training is, when I was starting trading, I didn't have, there were some places that you could learn to trade, but I basically, I scoured, I was pretty good at searching the internet. I scoured the internet for a strategy that were to line up with the way I like to trade, the amount of risk that I like to put up, the amount of money that I like to make, and how consistent that is. There weren't a lot of traders doing what I was doing, or getting the results that I wanted to get. So it took me quite a few years to first understand myself, but understand what it was to be a trader. I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have an education outside of what I was doing. Was trial and error, But then over the years, I was able to identify that. So hopefully, the training I give you helps you guys, gives you shaves off a couple of years off your trading, so that way, obviously everyone's going to make mistakes, right? You're like, well, I shouldn't have bought that, or I shouldn't have done that. Everyone's going to make mistakes, but the very basics, some of the things that maybe I could trickle down to you would be some of those years that it took me a couple of years to understand. Like, one of the things that took a long time to understand was who you are as a person, and your personality impacts how you trade. That I didn't, when I first started trading, I didn't have a clue why that would matter. But now that I'm older, and now that I've matured and I've traded for X amount of years, so many years, I understand that that's a big important factor. And before you put up risk and do all this stuff, you have to identify your strengths and your weaknesses as a person. And I didn't realize that at first, But anyways, I'm not gonna make this rant huge or anything like that. I just wanted to do. It looks like I'm at like 35 minutes already. I definitely appreciate you guys. Any questions for me before we bounce here? I definitely appreciate everyone that's been here. But like I said, what I'm going to be doing, taking the next few weeks, probably up to a month or so, getting the back end strong, getting the team strong, and then just going at UVH hard. Whew. I ranted a little bit longer than I wanted to there, because I just got fired up. haven't streamed in a while, so I had some built up tension there. Think you will do live streaming during any market anytime soon? So I've been debating doing the live streaming during the market hours. The question is, I gotta see how that was. For me, like, while doing that, is it going to be too distracting? I guess I have to play around with the idea, but I'm definitely open to it. So I'm just messing. I'm open to the idea, but I just don't want to the execution. I want to make sure it's good quality. Like if I'm streaming during market hours, I also want to make sure that I'm doing good trades and I'm able to concentrate on my trades to the full extent and not making bad trades and then live streaming. I want to make sure there's some balance there and I'm able to do both successfully. Which channel you watch on YouTube to learn strategy for options trading? Harish, I don't really watch any other options trading channels. Tasty Trade. Watched some of their videos when I was starting out, but that was about it. What suggestions can you give me? I always fall into FOMO. How can I beat it? Easy. You got an addiction problem. The best way, it's kind of like the best way to break a habit in trading is to just stop cold and not think about it. It's going to be hard for you when everyone's talking about a stock, pay zero attention to it. Because by the time everyone is talking about it, they've already made their money. They've already made their money. So, if we're talking about a stock that we've traded and we made 500% on or 1,000%, don't be the first guy that goes back in on that trade, or don't go be the guy that shorts that trade either, because sometimes those type of trades are difficult to hit. You got to be early. Like, people that have FOMO don't make money long term. People that are always chasing, that's where the us versus herd mentality is. So it's us versus herd. People that have FOMO and chase are the herd, and they'll lead the pack right over the cliff. Just don't go with them. Yeah, Tilray is a great example. Don't be a bag holder. Lyft hooked you up. Yeah. So I mean, you gotta use your own judgment. But if you have a bad habit, it takes 3 weeks to turn something into a habit, but it also takes 3 weeks to break a bad habit. So, 21 days. Go 21 days without chasing and discipline yourself. King Jacob, I'm going to officially start trading June 1st. A little nervous since I've only been paper trading. Hey, you've been doing the right thing. If you have the discipline to paper trade, you're gonna be fine. A lot of people that start out trading don't have the discipline, because everybody that wants to start trading wants to make money now. But that's not how it works. You're gonna spend a lot of money to educate yourself. You're gonna learn the hard way. But if you're paper trading, you got the right idea, man. And even if you're an experienced trader, you should always be paper trading strategies, because the market changes, the market twists and turns, and you should be paper trading different strategies. So you're not when the market changes, you're not putting your own money at risk when the market changes. And that's something that I myself have to get better at. It doesn't matter if you've been trading 1 year, 10 years, 30 years, 50 years. There's always going to be something for you to work on. There's always going to be something for you to get better at. Like, nobody does it perfectly. Nobody trades perfectly. Nobody is, anybody that does it successfully, I mean, they know, like, people that are experienced traders, they know what to look out for, but they do fall into their own traps consistently. and it's who they are. It's just part of the grind, you know. But as long as you're taking 2 to 3 steps forward, and if you take 1 step back, it's not so bad. But if you're taking 1 step forward, 2 to 3 steps back, and that's where you kind of run into problems. The time I was out because of my cancer, all I did was paper trade as well, and almost lost that as well. Well, if you're losing paper trading, you got to adjust your paper trading. You know, just like your real trading. Other thing that I want to do, I also want to step up the quality of my streams, better video quality, better sound quality, all those kind of things. So that's what I'll be doing. So I'm going to be working. I'll be working on UVH. I'll be working on everything. I don't know if this video was of value to you. I just wanted to give a personal update because I know it's been a while. I want to give a personal update. You know, if you liked the video, hit the like button. I definitely appreciate you all. FINRA, I'm not going to be doing any analysis today. So I definitely appreciate you guys and girls. You have a great weekend. Have a great rest of your day. Stay safe. Stay green. I'll always be back. Hit me up on Discord. Hit me up on Facebook. I'm around. I may not be recording content for YouTube for the next 4 weeks or so, but I will be on my computer. I will be trading. I will be engaging in that aspect. So if you have any question, hit up Discord. Links are below. Facebook. Hit me up on Instagram. You know, that's cool. So you guys have a great rest of your day. Have a good evening.